everyone! This is another video that's going to talk about WileyPlus. This one's going to talk about the different features that WileyPlus has to offer. So just as a reminder, how do you get to your WileyPlus materials? You go to Course Content. Whatever you clicked on last in the course is the tab it will take you to. I do have a tab under course information that's called WileyPlus. This tab is not only where these videos are housed, but it also has PowerPoints to remind you how to register, common problems, our policies, a solutions manual that I've provided for you guys, and this is what we're doing now is the resources in your WileyPlus book. So how do you get to your WileyPlus book? It depends on what you're wanting to do. If you're wanting to just read the chapters on your own, you can use this tool right here. It's WileyPlus Read, Study, and Practice. I like to click Open it in another window. You can open it in the same window as well. This is kind of a study on your own feature. This is where you can click through the contents on your own, select the chapter you want to work on, select the section of the chapter you want to work on, and start reading. Now, this way, again, is just really a self-study version of this. So what I would prefer to do is back to Course Info, under Exam 1, go to the actual assignment book itself. I've loaded each individual chapter as we go over them in class, because there are a few that I move around. So I'm going to go ahead and click Chapter 1. I like how this layout is a little bit better and it's a little bit easier to get through than the window we just looked at. But either way is fine as long as you're doing the reading. So here I already have the chapter pulled up. It's just like a traditional textbook. This is the same exact textbook as what you would have if it's a hard copy. We can click through the individual sections. The first thing I want to point out is this is an interactive e-textbook. So if you see anything that is highlighted in blue, or it's bolded in blue, if you hover over it, you'll see that it's defined that term. These are terms that they expect you to either know from Gen Chem or earlier in the textbook. But the reason they're highlighted is that means that's a term that a lot of students might have forgotten. So again, hover over it and it'll give you the definition. So again, reading through, here's another blue highlighted one, here's the definition. You can keep clicking through, and again, if you see anything that's blue and highlighted, that's going to be a hyperlink. You can look at my mouse until it changes. If it's just regular text, it looks like a regular text cursor. But if you're over something that gives you a definition or that's a hyperlink, you'll actually be able to click it. So this is a good way to pull up any of the tables that it's referencing right then and there or as a larger picture. So once you're done reading, just like a hard copy book, at the end of the chapter, it'll always give you a review of concepts. This is actually a great place to start for your PLQs. This is where the majority of the definitions are, and they're kind of condensed down. If you kind of read some of these definitions and you want to link back to the book, again, anything that's blue and when you hover over it, it looks like a pointer finger, that means you can click on it and it'll take you back to that section of the book. So if I've asked you guys to define a few things, again, the review of concepts at the end of each chapter is a good place to start, but sometimes you might need to click on that section to dive into it a little bit deeper to be fully prepared for lecture. Then something great this book does is called the Skill Builders. The Skill Builders highlights the skills that you should be learning in this chapter. So for example, this one is determining the constitution of small molecules. Is this something you could do? If you're looking over the Skill Builder and you're feeling like, nope, this is not something I can do, the first hyperlink again will take you to a section of the book so you can read about it. Or you can also try additional problems. These problems take you to the end of chapter problems on that specific topic. This is a great way to hone in on your weak areas. If you read through the first through and you're like, yeah, I'm feeling good about this, I think I can answer these types of problems, then you can try one, click on it, try it, see how you do. If you do well, keep moving forward. Don't spend too much time on the things that you do well on. You want to spend the time on the things that you're a little weaker on. So the book has really helped you narrow down all the different topics in that chapter by section here. If you want to start doing additional practice problems, just jump right in, just like you would at the end of a regular textbook. I have provided the solution manual for this under the course content area of the book, so you could work these. And something I love that this book does, if you want to start to challenge yourself, if you're feeling like, yeah, I'm getting them all, do the integrated problems. The integrated problems are going to take topics from either general chemistry and or earlier in the book and put them together. These are going to help you start to stretch your thinking. Lastly are the challenge problems. The challenge problems are going to be based off of research and organic chemistry literature. So these are going to be very wordy. You've got to really use your critical thinking skills to work through these. The online homework that I assign, aka the exam prep, literally takes problems from the practice problems, integrated problems, and one challenge problem, and that is what you're going to do for your homework. So a lot of students like to do some practice on their own in these sections at the end, and then do an attempt on the exam prep. If you're feeling like you still need some more practice after you've done this and you've done the exam prep, there's a few other things that you can do. Something neat that this book has is called Orion. With the Orion, it is a personalized learning platform. Now, since I'm not a student, I actually don't see all of the assignments in the same way that you guys do. But essentially, what you can do is you can review chapters, or you can actually help maintain your learning of that material. But what ends up happening is essentially you have a pie chart like this. It's going to give you a few questions to gauge where your weak areas, where your strong areas are, and then it'll start filtering in questions to help build up your weaker areas so you can fill up this chart. You can tell that there's different time estimates on the chart. The shorter the amount of the time, the stronger you were in that area. Again, the idea is to build up where you're less proficient at. You don't want to ignore the areas that you're less proficient at. This is a great way to study for an exam. Lost my place here. So another feature that this has is it also has tutorial videos built into each chapter. The solved problem videos or the tutorial videos, you'll notice, are actually written by David Klein. He's an instructor of organic chemistry down in Georgia. So if you're feeling really lost on a topic, click here and you can watch the video. This is also a good example. Oh no, there's a problem. This is what I talked about in my first video, where you actually need to clear your cache or reload the page in order to get this to load. There's even more additional practice problems down at the bottom. These are kind of nice because the conceptual checkpoints, for example, have the answers built in, and it actually gives you a score. But again, jump into these. There's a ton of ways to practice and a ton of different ways to approach the material.